Have you ever felt like nobody truly understands what you're going through, but the moment you slip, everyone's eyes turn toward you? It's strange, isn't it? Your silent battles go unseen, but your smallest errors become headlines. Yet here's the truth. The world's silence toward your pain isn't your defeat. It's your training ground, because those who rise, rise quietly. And today, I want you to remember one thing. Your pain might not be noticed, but it's preparing you for a version of yourself that the world won't be able to ignore. Rule 1, pain is invisible, but it's powerful. Pain doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers quietly inside you, shaping your thoughts, testing your spirit, and molding your strength in silence. No one can see the weight you carry within, the silent battles that you fight behind your calm smile. People only see what you allow them to see. They see your achievements, your confidence, your routine, but not the nights you spent holding yourself together when everything inside you was breaking. Pain is invisible because it lives deep within the heart, far away from the eyes of others. Yet, in its quietness, it holds immense power. A power that changes who you are, how you see life, and how you rise again after being shattered. When life wounds you, it doesn't always leave a scar that others can notice. It leaves invisible marks on your soul. And though the world may walk past you unaware, that pain is doing its sacred work. It is teaching you compassion, teaching you humility, and teaching you how to endure without applause. It's in those unseen moments of suffering that the strongest versions of people are born. No one becomes resilient through comfort. No one becomes wise through ease. It is pain, the silent, invisible kind, that forges the deepest strength. And even when nobody notices, that quiet transformation is happening inside you every single day. Pain doesn't need to be announced to be real. It doesn't need to be shared to have meaning. Sometimes your pain becomes the private place where your faith is tested and your patience grows roots. Every time you choose to smile through the ache, every time you keep going when quitting feels easier, you are proving the hidden power that pain carries. It doesn't destroy you, it shapes you. It strips away pride, softens your heart, and deepens your understanding of others. That's why the most compassionate souls are often the ones who have suffered in silence. They've learned to feel beyond words, to see beyond appearances, and to love beyond conditions. You may think your pain is unseen, but the universe notices. The energy of your endurance builds something powerful inside you. What others cannot see is what truly defines you, the invisible resilience that keeps you moving forward when everything else tells you to stop. Pain may not be visible, but it is the unseen force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary souls. Rule 2, judgment comes before understanding. It's one of the hardest truths of life. People judge faster than they understand. The world rarely pauses long enough to ask what you've been through or why you reacted the way you did. It's easier for them to label you than to listen to you. They see your choices, not your circumstances. They notice your mistake, not your intention. And that's the tragedy of human perception. Judgment always comes before compassion. We live in a world where appearances often carry more weight than truth, where one misunderstanding can erase years of effort, and where silence is mistaken for guilt instead of grace. You can spend your life doing right, but one wrong step can turn admiration into criticism in a heartbeat. People see the surface. They see the outcome, not the journey. They don't see the sleepless nights you spent fighting your fears, the mental exhaustion behind your calm face, or the pain behind your decisions. They don't understand that sometimes people break not because they are weak, but because they have been strong for too long. Yet instead of offering empathy, most offer judgment. They speak without knowing, they assume without asking, and they react without reflecting. And while their words can sting, their misunderstanding is not your truth. Their judgment cannot define your story, because only you know the battles that shaped you. The world has forgotten how to see through kind eyes. True understanding requires patience. It demands that we slow down, listen, and try to feel what another person might be going through. But many choose the easier route, to criticize from a distance instead of caring up close. That's why it's so important to protect your peace and not let judgment harden your heart. You can't control what others think about you, but you can control what you think about yourself. When someone misjudges you, let their words pass through you instead of into you. Remember, their judgment reflects their perception, not your reality. The greatest strength lies in staying calm when others misunderstand your silence, and staying kind when others misinterpret your heart. Understanding will always come late, but when it does, it will reveal the truth that judgment never could. Rule 3, mistakes don't define you, they refine you. Every person carries a story written in both light and shadow, in victories and in mistakes. Yet society often forgets this balance. It glorifies success, but condemns error, forgetting that every strong soul was once broken by failure. The truth is, mistakes are not the end of your story. They are the turning points that shape your character. Each time you stumble, something within you awakens: humility, wisdom, resilience. Mistakes have a way of refining the human spirit, burning away arrogance and pride until only truth and strength remain. The greatest lessons in life don't come from applause or praise. They come from moments that humble you, moments that remind you that growth is messy and transformation is never comfortable. When you make a mistake, the world might define you by it for a while. People will talk, opinions will circulate, and judgments will echo. But none of that defines who you are. What defines you is how you rise after falling. Every error is a mirror, showing you what needs to change, what needs to heal, and what needs to grow. It's easy to carry guilt, to replay the moment in your head over and over, wishing you had done it differently. But guilt without growth is useless. The real victory lies in reflection, in asking, what is this mistake trying to teach me? Life doesn't punish, it teaches. Each mistake refines your perspective, sharpens your decisions, and polishes your heart so you can see life more clearly. Think of the people who inspire you most. They aren't flawless. They're people who fell hard, learned deeply, and rose wisely. The fire that refined them was their own imperfection. That's what mistakes do. They teach you to be patient with yourself, to give yourself grace, and to understand others with empathy. They build character in ways comfort never could. A mistake handled with courage becomes a milestone in your growth. It shows that you're trying, that you're human, that you're willing to evolve. You don't need to erase your past. You need to learn from it, because in the end, it's not your mistakes that define your worth. It's the wisdom you gain and the strength you build because of them. Rule 4, silent strength is real strength. There is a kind of strength that never needs to announce itself. It doesn't roar, it doesn't demand attention, and it doesn't need validation from others. It's the strength that exists in silence, the kind that grows quietly inside the heart when no one is watching. This strength shows up in moments when you could break, but you choose to stay calm. It's in the days when your soul feels heavy, but you still get up, still move forward, still believe that somehow things will get better. The world often misunderstands this kind of strength because it doesn't come with noise or drama. It doesn't fight to be seen, yet it sustains you through storms that others would never survive. Silent strength is not the absence of pain. It's the mastery of it. It takes courage to stay composed when your heart is screaming. It takes power to respond with grace when you're provoked, to remain kind when you're hurt, and to stay hopeful when everything feels uncertain. That quiet endurance is the sign of a deeply mature soul, one that no longer seeks approval or pity, but peace. You see, anyone can appear strong when life is easy, when applause is loud, and when everything is going their way. But real strength reveals itself in the shadows, when nobody knows the battles you're fighting, and yet you still choose to stand tall. It's the patience to wait when life tests your faith, the self-control to hold back words that could wound, and the inner peace that allows you to move through pain without bitterness. Silent strength doesn't need an audience. It's not about proving a point. It's about preserving your spirit. It's about knowing your worth without shouting it to the world. It's the quiet prayer whispered through tears, the steady heart that refuses to give up, and the faith that believes even when everything looks impossible. This kind of strength builds character that no hardship can break. It teaches you that power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the steady rhythm of a soul that keeps going despite the weight it carries. In a world that celebrates noise, silent strength is the rarest and purest form of courage. Rule 5, turn pain into purpose. Pain changes you, not just emotionally, but spiritually. It cracks something open inside you that comfort never could. The moments that break you often carry the seeds that build you. When you go through deep pain, you begin to see life differently. You start to understand that every heartbreak, every disappointment, every betrayal has a lesson hidden beneath the suffering. Pain can either destroy you or define you, but the choice of what it becomes is yours. You can let it turn into bitterness, or you can let it turn into purpose. Those who rise from pain don't escape it, they transform it. They use it as fuel, as meaning, as a message. They take what once wounded them and make it their strength. Pain is not wasted when it's used to help you grow into something greater. The truth is, pain gives you a kind of wisdom that nothing else can. It makes you more sensitive to the emotions of others, more understanding of human struggle, and more grateful for peace when it finally arrives. Turning pain into purpose means refusing to let your suffering be meaningless. It means saying, I may not have chosen this pain, but I'll choose what it teaches me. It's about finding light in the very place that once felt like darkness. Maybe your heartbreak teaches you empathy. Maybe your loss teaches you gratitude. Maybe your failure teaches you humility. Every wound can become a lesson if you allow it to open your eyes instead of closing your heart. You don't need to rush your healing. You just need to trust that something sacred is happening within you, even in your lowest moments. The pain that once made you question everything will one day become the foundation of your wisdom. The tears that once burned your eyes will water the soil of your purpose. Because when you've been through enough, you stop chasing perfection. You start chasing meaning. You begin to see that life isn't about avoiding pain. It's about transforming it into something beautiful, something powerful, something that serves others. That's when your suffering becomes sacred, when it no longer defines your wounds but amplifies your strength. Rule 6, grace over guilt. There comes a point in life when you must decide what deserves more of your energy. Guilt over what you've done or grace for who you're becoming. Guilt has a heavy voice. It whispers reminders of your past mistakes, the words you wish you could take back, the decisions you wish you could change. It makes you live in yesterday, replaying moments that cannot be undone. And while guilt can awaken conscience, living in it too long only chains your spirit. Grace, on the other hand, is freedom. It's the gentle reminder that you are not your past. You are your progress. It tells you that your mistakes were lessons, not life sentences. Grace doesn't ignore the truth. It accepts it, forgives it, and moves forward with compassion. Choosing grace over guilt means giving yourself permission to grow. It means understanding that you did the best you could with what you knew at that time. It's realizing that being human means being imperfect, and imperfection doesn't make you unworthy of love or peace. The people who walk closest to peace aren't those who never fell. They're the ones who learn to rise without carrying shame. Guilt looks back and keeps you stuck in regret. Grace looks ahead and teaches you redemption. You cannot move forward if your hands are full of guilt. You must let it go to embrace growth. Every moment you spend punishing yourself for what's gone takes away the power to build what's ahead. There's something profoundly healing about treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer someone you love. You can't rewrite your past, but you can rewrite how you speak to yourself about it. Give yourself the same grace that you give to others. Learn from the pain, but don't live in it. Grace doesn't erase responsibility. It transforms it into wisdom. It helps you understand that you're still deserving of peace, even after your worst moments. You are still worthy of joy, even if you've made mistakes. And every time you choose grace over guilt, you rise a little higher above the weight that once tried to hold you down. Because true strength isn't found in perfection, it's found in forgiveness. So, if life ever makes you feel unseen, unheard, or misunderstood, remember this: your worth is not measured by who notices your pain or who counts your mistakes. Your value lies in how you keep moving, how you keep growing, and how you keep believing when no one's watching. You are not broken because you've been hurt. You are becoming whole because you've kept going. Every tear, every failure, every silent battle has been shaping a stronger, softer, wiser version of you. So stop waiting for the world to understand you. Start honoring your own journey. Keep walking with quiet faith, because one day the same people who overlooked your struggle will be amazed by your peace.